The hotel room was silent except for the faint hum of the air conditioner when my roommate leaned against the doorway, folded her arms, and smirked. "You're not sleeping tonight." She said it so calmly that every exhausting mile from my week-long business trip vanished in an instant. Her eyes held a secret she refused to explain, and before I could ask another question, she turned off the hallway light and walked away. I stood frozen with my suitcase still in my hand, wondering what she knew that I didn't. Sometimes the hardest journey isn't the one across cities or airports. It's the one that begins the moment you walk back through your own front door. I thought I was coming home to familiar walls, cold leftovers, and the comfort of my own bed after 7 exhausting days away. Instead, I stepped into a mystery that would challenge everything I believed about trust, friendship, and the people who quietly change our lives without asking for recognition. If you've ever wondered whether someone truly cared about you when you weren't looking, this story might stay with you long after it ends. Before we begin, if you enjoy emotional and inspiring stories like this, make sure to support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us bring more powerful stories of kindness, hope, and humanity. My name is Ethan, and for nearly 3 years I'd shared a small apartment with my college friend, Mason. We weren't the kind of roommates who became brothers overnight. We argued over dirty dishes, took turns forgetting to buy groceries, and occasionally borrowed each other's clothes without asking. Still, there was an unspoken loyalty between us that made living together easy. At least, that's what I believed before leaving for my biggest business trip yet. The trip had been exhausting. Endless meetings, delayed flights, cold coffee, and barely enough sleep to function. Every night I'd text Mason, mostly complaining about work. His replies were unusually short. "Hang in there. You'll crush it. Get home safe." I assumed he was simply busy. When I unlocked the apartment that evening, something immediately felt different. The place smelled like fresh paint mixed with cinnamon candles. Our old worn-out couch was gone. New curtains covered the windows. Even the scratched coffee table had disappeared. "What happened here?" I asked. Mason shrugged with that same mysterious grin. "You'll see." I asked about the furniture. "I heard you." His calmness irritated me. "I've been traveling for a week, Mason. Could you please explain what's going on?" Instead of answering, he picked up my suitcase and carried it toward my bedroom. "Trust me." Those 2 words only made me more suspicious. As I followed him down the hallway, I noticed my bedroom door was closed. Normally he left every door open. My heart started beating faster. "Mason." He stopped outside the room. "Ready? For what?" He smiled again. "Remember what I said? You're not sleeping tonight." He slowly pushed the door open. I expected some ridiculous prank. Maybe balloons. Maybe someone hiding behind the curtains. Instead, I stood speechless. The room was completely empty. Every piece of furniture was gone. My bed. In storage. My desk. Also gone. My clothes. Packed safely. I stared at him in disbelief. "Have you completely lost your mind?" He didn't laugh. "No." "Then explain." He looked down for a moment before quietly saying, "Because your landlord sold the building." The words hit harder than I expected. "What?" "He finalized the sale 3 days ago." I blinked. "That's impossible." "I thought so too. I never got a call." "You didn't answer unknown numbers while traveling." He was right. I ignored every unfamiliar call during business meetings. Mason handed me a stack of unopened envelopes. "The notices arrived after you left." I quickly flipped through them. Legal documents. Sale confirmation. Vacate notice. 48 hours. My stomach dropped. "We're being kicked out. The new owner wants immediate renovations." I sank onto my suitcase. "Where are we supposed to go?" Mason smiled again. "That's the part you don't know." He reached into his pocket and tossed me a single silver key. I caught it instinctively. "What's this?" "Our new place." I stared at him. "You found an apartment." "I bought a house." I honestly thought he was joking. You, what? I've been saving for years. You never told me. I wanted to make sure everything was finalized first. I looked at him like I'd never met him before. You bought a house. He nodded. Small one. And I already moved everything. I laughed in disbelief. So that's why this place looks empty. Exactly. You moved all our furniture by yourself. That sweet elderly woman from downstairs never missed a chance to feed someone. But why keep it secret? His smile slowly faded. Because I didn't know how to tell you. What do you mean? He sat beside me. When we graduated, you helped me more than you remember. I frowned. I didn't do anything. You did. His voice softened. My dad left. My savings disappeared paying Mom's medical bills. I was ready to quit everything. I remembered those months. They were hard. You covered my half of the rent for 4 months. I called it a loan. You never asked for it back. I shrugged. You needed help. He looked directly into my eyes. I promised myself someday I'd return the favor. Emotion tightened my throat. Mason. I put your name on the new house lease agreement. I blinked again. My name. You'll pay the same rent as before. But house payments are higher. I know. Then why? He smiled. Because family doesn't keep score. Silence filled the room. I suddenly understood why he'd been acting strangely all week. Every late reply. Every short message. He'd been packing our lives into boxes while I complained about airport food. My eyes wandered across the empty room where so many memories had lived. Movie nights. Birthday celebrations. Late-night conversations after terrible days. It wasn't the apartment that mattered. It was the person sitting beside me. Mason stood. Come on. Where? Home. We drove across town beneath quiet evening skies until we reached a peaceful neighborhood lined with maple trees. The house wasn't enormous. White walls. Blue shutters. Small front porch. It looked warm. Inside, every piece of furniture had been arranged almost exactly as before. The couch faced the television. Our old coffee mug sat in the kitchen. Even my favorite reading chair rested beside a window overlooking the backyard. You remembered everything. I tried. Then I noticed something hanging above the fireplace. A framed photograph. The two of us during graduation. I laughed. You seriously framed that awful picture? You looked terrible. So did you. I know. For the first time in weeks, I laughed without feeling exhausted. Later that evening we ordered pizza, sat on the living room floor because the dining table hadn't arrived yet, and talked until well past midnight. So, I finally asked. What? You said I wouldn't be sleeping tonight. He grinned. I wasn't lying. No. You've got a new home to explore. And tomorrow morning, you're helping me build about 20 pieces of furniture. I groaned dramatically. You planned this? Absolutely. For the first time all week, I didn't mind losing sleep. Sometimes the greatest surprise isn't finding out your life has changed. It's discovering someone cared enough to protect you from facing that change alone.